For Northwestern State head coach Blaine McCorkle, as the Demons get ready to face Lamar for homecoming. And Coach, we'll just kind of talk about the Nichols game again, searching for that third piece of complementary football. I think a lot of people think about offense and defense. Sometimes they leave out special teams. Two of the three, defense and special teams, delivered. Put you in position there. Still looking 8 weeks in, maybe to find that third complement.
Yeah, you do have to put the whole thing together for sure. And, if you're lacking in one area, it does affect everybody. It is a team game. And complementary football is a real thing, and it's something that we're still searching for. And, defensively, Saturday definitely played well enough to win. Special teams did a great job. Specifically, our punt team did a great job keeping us in the game and allow us to play some good field position, but struggled offensively to really find a rhythm or have some answers for some things that they did to us. I think they played us exactly how I would play us in a moment like that. Took some things away on the edge and eliminated the opportunity for us to do things where we're strong. So good for them. They had a good plan, and those are things that we got to adjust and go to work on and have a plan for in the future. And in the meantime, you just got to play a little bit harder, play a little bit smarter, do what you're coached to do offensively, and put the whole thing together.
Never want to talk to a coach when the punter is the leading rusher in a game, but in a moment when you had the fake punt presented itself, Reed Honstein executed it well. He just talked to us about the confidence that you guys have instilled in him as a staff. It's got to be a special feeling when something like that pays off for you guys as a coaching staff and you see it in your players.
Oh, sure. He, when guys get an opportunity to make a play, they got to do it. And Reed did that. And it doesn't matter what position it is. It doesn't matter if it's a running back, a quarterback, an offensive lineman, a defensive back, or a punter. If you get a chance to make a play, do it. That's part of being part of the team. And sometimes you don't think about specialists in that role, but anybody can make a play at any time. And when your number's called, you got to be ready. And Reed did that Saturday, and helped us really stay in the game and give us some field position. And we're excited for him for that.
Now, do you expect him after seeing the way he runs, does he need to go cover more after his kicks? And you don't want him necessarily being the last line of defense.
No.
When you guys, when you look at Lamar, we talked last week, Nichols, there were a lot of similarities between what that program is and what you want. You'll see another one that kind of similar to what Nichols has done. Maybe Lamar's following a little bit in their footsteps, certainly in terms of the physical brand of football they play.
Yeah, the recipe to winning is pretty simple sometimes. Get good players, make them play hard, make them play physical, and be sound. We talked a lot about there's a lot of gurus out there. Sometimes you just got to be a football coach, and that's exactly what Tim Rebowe is at Nichols. We talked about that a lot last week, and that's exactly what Coach Rosamondo is at Lamar. He's just an old-school offensive line coach that comes from a part of the country that takes a lot of pride in that position and working hard and playing tough football, and that's evident in the way his teams play and how he's trying to build it. And 2 weeks in a row, we've seen people kind of prove that we're on the right track with the model that we're trying to do. Now we just have to kind of execute that model and keep putting those pieces together. But they've done a great job in their first 2 years there, bringing in some good players, knowing what they wanted to do, building an identity, and playing a good, tough, physical brand of football. So I really like the way they play, and it's something for us to pay attention to how they're doing it.
Similarly with that, when you play a lot of young players, as you have the past couple of weeks, and will continue to do this last half of the season, or last third of the season rather, do you feel like that gives you a chance to form your identity?
Yeah, absolutely. We're at the 4-game mark right now, 4 games left. The redshirt rules now are that you can play in 4 games and still retain that redshirt year. And we've got a handful, the majority of our freshman class hasn't played a snap yet. So these 4 games, we're going to give them an opportunity to do that, because they are our future. That doesn't mean we're taking away from anybody. That doesn't mean we're sacrificing the ability to win the game. But we want to see what those young guys can do, and we want to see how they operate under the lights. They need to feel that as they grow in the future. So there's quite a few of them that'll get significant reps these last 4 games. And really what we're looking for them to do is just go in there and play hard and start building that identity of who we are and who we're going to build this program with. There's also a handful of freshmen who have played 1, 2, and 3 games, so we're going to keep track of that to try to protect those guys' red shirts. We don't want to take advantage of anybody. There are a couple young men that we do need to have a conversation with about, hey, do we burn that red shirt? Kind of where are you in this thing? And go from there. But we're always going to do what's best for the player, as well as the team at the same time. Sometimes those things go hand in hand, sometimes they don't. But there's a lot of personnel conversations happening right now. And, with a lot of those freshmen, if all you're going to do is go in there and play hard and maybe the older guy in front of you is not, well, you got an opportunity these last 4 games to go prove yourself. And I'm excited this week and the next 3 after that to see some of these young guys get in the fight a little bit.
And again, for some of them, it may be a little bit better and it may not be, depending on who you are, but a chance to do that at home in the midst of homecoming, it's pomp and circumstance. It's another game a lot of times for the guys on the field. But when you do get them a chance to maybe get in for that first time at home, a much friendlier atmosphere than going on the road and trying to do it.
Yeah, sure it is. And, 4 games left, 2 are home and 2 are on the road. The 2 on the road, we may actually travel a few of those guys who haven't traveled in the past, so they can feel that too, because there is a lot to be said for knowing what it's like to get on a bus, to stay in a hotel, to go through those meetings, and then show up at a different venue and play. So if we can give some of those guys the opportunity to do that, we'll do that as well for our 2 road games left. If it gives us a chance to win and helps us grow the program down the road, it's worth every bit of it. And like I said, you can still keep some of those guys redshirted, which is an awesome thing. The NCAA doesn't get a whole lot right, but they got that rule right.
Coach, as always, thanks for your time.
Thank you.